Let's go, girls. Welcome to Talk Wealthy to Me. I'm Michelle Taylor, founder of Women in Wealth. From breaking money myths to building wealth and achieving financial freedom, we're here to empower you to create your own path. Talk Wealthy. Now, join the conversation and let's change the way women think and feel about money. Okay, ready? Today, I am excited to welcome a guest who lives at the intersection of artistry and strategy, Lene Allen. She is the founder and CEO of Laudt Creative. And with over 15 years of experience in brand development and team leadership, Lene has built a reputation for helping brands not just look good, but tell stories that connect and grow. Her work spans high-profile luxury automotive clients, think Audi, Porsche, Bentley, creating messaging that resonates at both national and dealer levels, and so much more. But beyond the boardroom, Lene is a creator at heart. She channels her visual storytelling skills not only into her client work, but also into her home life. Arts and crafts projects with her 3 children are her favorite way to unwind. Yes, the mess is part of the art. Her husband supports these adventures, even if the cleanup isn't always his favorite part. So whether she's designing brand identities, building creative strategies, writing children's books, or helping a team align around vision, Lene brings energy, authenticity, and a deep belief in the power of creativity to change how we see ourselves and how the world sees us. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Talk Wealthy to Me. I'm Michelle Taylor, and I am here today with someone I know you are going to love hearing from. Lene, tell everybody about you, and thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me. I'm Lene Allen. I have a creative marketing agency. Been in Orlando for 4 years. Went to University of Florida. Met my husband there, so we are Florida
Go
people.
Gators.
Yes, we're Go Gators. We're home. We love this Orlando community, and which I endeavored into my own financing journey probably 2-3 years ago because it was about the time when I started my own business. So I think that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit here.
Yes. So somewhat new to Orlando, but I feel like you've done a really good job. And that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Is you are in all the right places and have built a really successful, not only agency, but also have a lot of other things like a book and all kinds of cool things we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
So how did you fall into this world? Did you always plan on being in this space, or was this a happy accident?
You mean the marketing?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm actually, I think, one of those odd people that, well, hold on. I wanted to go to art school and my dad told me, sweetheart, why don't we do like a little bit with a business? Why don't you do marketing? And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. And I have a good relationship with my parents. So I was like, oh, sounds good. We'll do that. And I actually am one of those odd people that freshman year declared my major and never veered from it.
Oh, wow.
And just did that. And I'll tell you, like, the creative part of it is what always drew me. I think my daughter the other day called me an artist, and I finally was like, I made it. I made it. Someone sees me for who I am.
Well, you know what's so great about what you just said is I've talked about this on the podcast so many times. You don't, when you have this passion or a calling, and it may not be something that is in alignment with the lifestyle that you envision, there are ways that you can take, like being an artist, but then turn it into a business and accomplish both things at the same time. And I think that that's something that we need to talk about more.
Yes.
If you are passionate about something, do it, but figure out a way to do it well so it serves your vision of what success looks like.
Exactly. And there's always the reality of you need to make money. I mean, it depends on how much you need to make. Do you need to become a billionaire? I don't think so. That's not success for me. But I have a family and I need to provide for my family and I need to be independent. I have a working husband. He's amazing. But you never know. I need to be able, I have 3 kids that if anything ever happens, I need to be able to do it on my own, right? So that is when you have a dream, you have to be realistic. Like, how can you live your dream, but also how can you do it to support everything else you dream for.
100%.
Which is a family, right? So there's always that sense of reality that comes with it.
So tell us about the agency.
Yes. So I was 15 years in automotive, and I actually didn't do as much marketing there in the beginning. It was more operational sales. I did a whole program. And then in the end, because I was always that creative mindset, always gravitated towards those roles and ended up in that space. And then actually came to Florida and did that for the state of Florida, where I worked as a marketing person for attracting businesses to Florida.
Okay.
But then it's always kind of like when you're working just with one brand, there's only so many ideas you can implement. And there's always guardrails, especially with big corporate companies. And I'll tell you, like, I quickly always got bored, and the guardrails were always too high. So I always thought, like, I need to just build my own thing, and I can pick and go after clients that interest me and where I have ideas. And especially when you work with startups, for example, you can be more disruptive. You can be more creative, where corporate America might play it safe, and other clients have more of the tolerance for risk taking. So that's where I had the idea of just let me just do my own thing. I have a good network. I'm a community builder. How do I find those people? And it's just been so rewarding.
Yeah, I think that you're so uniquely built for this role that you have, because you are a visionary, but you're also very in tune to what's going on and what is going to resonate with people. And I know one of my favorite things that you've done is a couple of years ago, you did something that was brand new and really exciting for women to watch in Orlando. And it was a fantastic turnout, lots of big name brands, but also it was a way for the community to see women that were doing really well. What was your thought process behind starting that? And I know we hope that that's not the only one, but what do you think that brought to the community that was important for you to do?
So coming out of the pandemic, I think community was something that people were really gravitating to. And another thing is with marketing, community building has kind of been proven to be the long-term survivor, right? I worked for Porsche, and that's one of the biggest brands nationally.
Isn't it the most successful brand?
Yes. And it is because of that community. Yes, they have good product and they stand behind it, but there's other cars that are good products. Mm-hmm. But this whole community, this shared emotion around the product is what is a big part of the success. So I really learned from the best. And so this whole idea of community, also for women, working women.
Huge.
I have 3 kids. And people ask all the time, how do you do it? And I'm like, I have a whole army of PTO moms, girlfriends, book clubs, nannies, family behind me, supporting me. So the community, when I talk to my clients, the community aspect is always in the front and center of our strategy, because it gives you long-term success. So when I talked to the dealership here, Bentley of Orlando, they gave me 2 goals. They said, we need more online content. We need to get in with the female community more. So I went out there, I talked to some people, and this idea of doing an event for women and being an entrepreneur myself, I was already connecting with so many women at that point, like Bernadette, who were also business starters, right? Starters. So it was all up in there. And so the idea kind of came, Bentley is a car success. And you need money to afford a Bentley. So why don't we talk to some women who have built their own business and who have been able to grow success? And it was right in this time where we're seeing more women out there making big moves, right? We're very lucky in that we have these role models. Mm-hmm. And what I really liked on top of it is that these women that we used are in our community. And what we wanted to create was hope. You can do it too.
Yeah.
So we had like examples of like billionaires and millionaires, right? So like, wow, really reaching for the stars and attainable. Because if I'm looking at those celebrities in New York, it's not for me. I don't think I can do it. But if I'm with women from my community who've done that in my community, then it gives me hope that I can be successful too.
Do it too. And it was so great.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we're hearing more and more about big companies saying, how do we resonate and get in front of more women? And it just shows that the work that we are doing is moving the needle and in a big way. So it's really exciting, especially for someone like you who has the opportunity to say, I know how to do this. I've done it.
Yeah.
And let's keep bringing it in. It's exciting.
Yes, let's bring it to our backyard.
Yeah. Okay. So as a young girl, what was your relationship like with money and finances and all that entails?
So I'm from East Germany, right? So I was born in East Germany. My parents grew up there. East Germany was definitely not capitalistic society. It was communism. There was no investment. There was no open market, right? So investing was never on our radar. I also have my grandparents were children of World War II. So I was brought up very frugally. And when I listened to your opening episode, there's a lot that I could relate to where it's like, you saw someone who was rich in your community and the fact that they had snacks and drinks in their house meant they were rich.
Yeah.
I always tell my mom our fridge was like Hansel and Gretel, like nothing. And then there was a rich person in our town and she had dessert every day. And that to me meant like she was rich. But I, because of that, I think I had a very healthy relationship with money and not wasting it. We also don't believe in like spending what you don't have unless it's like for a purchase, like a house where you take up a loan. So I was pretty on a good path there, but investing and God, we don't learn about that early enough because if I would have taken my saved money and at 20 years ago, put that in an index fund, I could really live freely right now, right? And that's what money is for me. It's freedom. It's freedom not to have to be a slave to a company that I don't want to work for anymore or having to jump into another job that I don't want to do. That's where money is important for me. But I wish someone would have explained to me a 401k, really explained it to me because I didn't do it for like 2 years at one point.
And it's such a missed opportunity. So growing up, how you did, and obviously I know your story, how did you learn about investing? How did you change the narrative in your own life? What was your first step?
I didn't. I thought about investing. I thought it was these Wall Street people, Wolf of Wall Street, who are gambling away. So I always thought it was like, I'm not a risk taker. I'm not that of a risk taker. So I mean, this is not for me. The only way I thought about maybe building wealth is buying houses and having a house or something. And it wasn't until like 2 years ago till I really we sold our house in Atlanta during the pandemic. We had some cash put away and I looked at my husband like, we have to do something with this. And he's a business owner. He's an entrepreneur. I didn't have time. So I was like, okay, I'm a big reader. So I read like 4 books and that's when I'm like, oh my God, index funds. What is this? And so last 2 years, I worked with our team and we just cleaned up our entire investment and put things into money markets and investment funds. And that's really 2 years ago is when I started learning it. And that's too late.
It's too,
in my personal opinion, I wish I would have done it earlier.
It is too late, but I think it's important to say to the audience, it is never
too late.
Because even you, anybody in this community that knows of you, sees you and thinks, oh, Lene has it all together. Yeah. But I think it's such a good reminder that we all see people and not everybody has it all together.
No.
And it's never too late to change that narrative. Yes. So once you read all of these books, how did you go about, did you find somebody that you trusted to help you start investing, or were you somebody that read a lot and then tried to do it on your own?
I actually talked to my mother-in-law. So in my husband's side of the family is also my mother-in-law who did a lot of this investing. And so then she gave us advice, and she connected us with her team at a financial institution. And then that's how we got into it. Now that means like we still have a journey ahead to explore more, because again, there's diversification. I'm not a risk taker. I don't put everything in one hat. So there's that next step of, okay, we did the index funds, we did the financial markets, we did all of our kids' accounts. What's next? Where can, we are going to invest in our own businesses. Yep. That's I think a very beneficial way to do it, is to we have control over growing that.
It's always your own home run. Yeah. I tell any of the clients that I work with that are business owners, I never want your investment strategy to compete with your business. And what that means is your business, being an entrepreneur, is risky enough.
Yeah.
So you can bet on yourself and reinvest in your business to see the growth happen there. Or you can put your money somewhere and not have as much control. Now, I love to live in an and universe where you do both things, yes. Right? But I do think that as entrepreneurs and business owners, that's something that's often missed when they're talking to traditional advisors that are just saying, oh, just invest more in the market.
Yeah.
The reality is, if you invest it in your business, you're almost guaranteeing to see the growth and success and the scale. So I love that you say that, because you have to do both.
You have to. Yeah, you have to diversify.
Yeah. So something that I'm really excited about is the book.
Yes. And I brought a couple of copies for you, actually.
Thank you.
And it is, I kind of feel like it shows that investing is for everyone. I'm a creative. I had to manage budgets, and I had to learn taxes and accounting and all that. But I still can't really sometimes understand, what does it mean to grow tax deferred? I am a mom. This is not my line of work. But because I'm a creative, I also know the tools. I know how to tell stories. I know marketing is about teaching people why our product is right for you. Mm-hmm. So I understand how to teach a topic to people, how to package it up. So, I wanted to teach my kids about investing and entrepreneurship, because you don't ever know where life will take you. I didn't want them to be tied to the job. If they want to work for someone, perfect. Right. But I think most of us have had the experience of being laid off, and how that pulls the floor out from underneath you. So if you have a little side hustle, if that's a dog walking business, an Etsy shop, like a website, that holds you. Like, it gives you purpose. Like, you're kind of like, okay, hold on. Like, I'm not going to lose my path here. Like, there is a way forward, especially while you're trying to figure out what is next. So that's what I wanted to teach kids.
And it is an amazing book. You guys, it's called The Piggy Bank Explorers. But it's so cool because it is a story about learning how to invest, but it's inspired by your own kiddos.
Yes.
But the story is about them remelting crayons to be able to sell them. And I think that you're right. When we were growing up, there was not as many opportunities for side hustle. Most girls were babysitting. Most boys were mowing lawns, right? And that was it.
Yes.
And other than that, you were pretty much stuck until you could get a job.
Yeah.
But what I love about this is, especially in this time that we're in, there are so many ways for young people to figure out a way to start making money while they're in school.
Yes.
Like you said, Etsy shops or still babysitting. But how do you provide a value to somebody that you will be compensated for at a young age? And then you've got money to help start investing or starting to save for school.
Yeah.
All of these things. And it teaches it in a very easily digestible way. I've read it to my kids. They understood it. They got excited. Lemonade stands. Can't forget lemonade stands.
Yes.
But I think that it's such a great opportunity. So for anybody listening, it's available. Check it out, because these are the kind of things that you never know, that little moment of impact that something small can have in the big story of someone's life.
And I'll also tell you that because I have parents in mind, it's not just women. There's a lot of men who don't fully understand investing. That there's the first is the story, and then so you have the story, and then in the end there are steps on explaining it.
How to do
so parents, if you're not quite into investing either, and you don't want to buy that book and admit that you don't know investing, what I found is that my friends are reading the last pages, and it explains like, how do you even start? What does it mean? Why is it important? We talk about 529s in here, that what they can be used for, because everyone says, well, what if my kid doesn't go to college? Well, it's for an apprenticeship program, trade schools. Like, our kids will need some kind of education. So it is a nice way for you to also learn with your kids.
Yes. And two things on that. With the big, beautiful bill, there were some good changes with 529s and what you can use them for. It's becoming more and more robust, which is really exciting. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I can't tell you how many times I will have somebody who is really excited about investing, and they will start and they don't invest the money. They say, okay, I'm going to put $200 a month into a Roth IRA, and then it goes in, and they don't choose funds, and it sits in cash. All of those things are answered.
That's the mistake I did in the beginning. I put it in there, and I'm like, it's in there, but then I wouldn't see the arrow go up.
It's not growing.
Why is it not growing? And then I realized it wasn't invested. Yeah. It was just sitting there. So yeah, I'm not the master of at all. Like, I had very smart people look over this. I was the creative mind behind it. Like, I also won't call myself an author because I read a ton. And I love authors. Like, I have such respect for a good author. So I'm like the producer of it, right?
Yeah, I love that.
And so it really is, it's that passion project. And there weren't them, I didn't find books out there. So what we like to do now is, for a birthday party, I give it to a kid and I put $5, $10 in it.
It's so smart, because the last thing any of us want is more plastic toys. Yes. But you still want to give something. That's such a great idea. Okay, so I always ask when I'm talking to someone, what are the money mistakes that you made? And then what are the money wins? And I'm going to put you on the spot and take away probably what you're going to say. I would expect you to say, for a money mistake, that you waited too long to invest, which you've kind of already told us. And then the money win was that you were frugal. You understood. But what else? Like, as you started to dive into being a business owner, getting married to another entrepreneur, what do you think that you've done really well financially above and beyond just being frugal? It can be a tip or a resource that you used. And then what do you think you did that you wish you hadn't?
So, first of all, like, a mistake is, again, coming from the mentality of not taking credit. We only had debit cards. So through college and high school, I only had a debit card. Oh, yeah. So then when I went to go work, my first job, I didn't get approved for a credit card because I didn't have a credit score.
Yeah.
So my now husband, who was then my boyfriend, added me to his credit cards. That's crazy, right? We were like 25 years old, but
it works.
It worked. And so now I have good credit, but back then I didn't have credit. Another really smart thing I did is I married someone with very similar mentality about money. Yeah. And I didn't realize till I read the book, The Psychology of Money, that how other people think. Like, I was pretty frugal, but I'm like, oh my God, what if I would have married a man that just goes and buys things all the time, or he does a lot of things himself? that I then understand like, the marital friction that can happen from that. So I think that was a really good money decision that I made too.
Oh, yeah, because when 1 in 2 marriages are ending in divorce, how many of those divorces are a product of misaligned financial approaches, right? And it is so important, and we're not talking about it. And I know it sounds crazy, but I tell my friends and people that I work with, have the conversations. Don't wait.
Yes.
Have the conversations now, because you don't want to fight over money, especially if it's just the approach. Because even when you're financially successful, if one's a spender and one's not, you're still going to fight.
Yes.
So have the conversations. Yes. I think that's great advice. And another thing that you said that I want to go back to that is so often missed is we are taught in this country that credit is bad. And really, credit is, if used responsibly, the cheat code to building wealth.
Yes.
Why would you use money that's yours instead of using someone else's, as long as it's being used to build an asset instead of buying a pair of shoes that you can't afford? So if you find yourself in a position where you do have good credit, for anybody listening, and you've got young children, this is a total cheat code. Put your child on a credit card that you have as an authorized user. And before you ask or think it, you don't have to give them the credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the card. But if you've got good credit, it's going to establish their credit. So when they're 18 years old, they're out on their own and, they're going to, let's say college, and they want to get their own apartment, live off of campus. Now it can be something that you do jointly, and it's a lesson there. So it's a gift that you can give your kiddos. And if you don't have great credit, don't put them on there. But if you do, it's something that is such a gift. And it sounds like it's a good thing that you ended up marrying your husband, because that would be something I may say, if you're not married, it might not be the best idea, but it worked out really well for you.
Yeah, it did. I know. It's kind of like once we got married and we put our accounts together, it wasn't even a big deal, because we'd already for 7 years been like every month going through our credit card statement, divvying out what everyone owes. And it just also built our foundation of trust with each other. So it worked out. And another thing I would say with money is, women, we need to be more comfortable talking about money, asking for more money in those negotiations, right? Knowing our worth. But my pastor at church the other day said, like, money is important, but don't let it rule you and don't lose sight of it. Mm-hmm. So like, what do you want money to do for you? It's
a tool.
Kind of like, you have to define that for yourself. And if you want to get that bag and those shoes, that is absolutely fine, as it is within reason, right? Sure. And you're not, you can go spend all your money on it, but like, then that will take away from other things that money can do for you, which is freedom in your job. I say, like, I try to take every Friday off from client work and use that time to invest in my own business. When I started the business, I couldn't do that. I had to work every day. Now I can, and that's success for me.
It's a good investment.
Yes. And then in my house, we agree, okay, well, we don't need material things, but we need childcare and we need the best nannies out there. So we will put all of our money into babysitters and nannies. And we had an au pair, and like, because we believe that then money can give us freedom with our kids. It allowed us to have a third kid,
and
right?
It allows you to go out and make more money within your business.
Yes.
Because if you look at outsourcing, so many women, there's like a guilt associated with, I don't want to outsource cleaning my house because I should be doing it, or I can be doing it. But if you look at what the hourly rate is of what you're paying someone to do, and then what you can do with it, as long as you're using the time you're recapturing for something that's important.
Yes. So if someone else told me.
Yeah. If you're hiring somebody and then you're not pouring it back into your business, that cost may come to be a bit higher than we thought.
Yeah.
But you just need to be intentional and be honest about why you're doing something, and give yourself the grace. If you want something that feels selfish, like the shoes, it's okay.
Yes.
Be honest with it, but figure out a way to work it into your life so that nothing else is being sacrificed that's important.
Exactly. And when you hire other people, you're also giving other people a job.
Yeah.
You're also employing someone. And, I have a cleaning person. She's always asking me, is there your friends? Do they need work? So yes, why wouldn't I have someone help me at home? Like I have nannies, but I also don't outsource my kids. Like usually the nannies and I are doing things together because it's too much for me with 3. But it's again, like, yes, it's like you said, you have to do something meaningful with that time. And you're also providing other people with an opportunity to make money. And so that's where I say, like, don't let money lead you. Don't always think it needs to be more, because then you become a slave to it.
Yes. Think of it like a tool.
Yes.
And the bigger your toolbox is, the more freedom you have. And freedom can come and look different for everybody. It could be taking your kiddo to school every morning. That's important to me.
Exactly.
It took a decade in this industry for me to get to a point where I could do that freely. But that's important. That's what success looks like. So what does success look like for you moving forward? Because you've done a really good job, but I think as a creative, as an entrepreneur, we're always kind of moving the goalpost. So what is next when you think about what life looks like that you're working towards?
Absolute success would be, that my husband and I we're set, we're good, my kids are good, we have all our needs met because we ran our businesses successfully, we put our money in investing, and now my business success would look at that I can take on any client regardless of how much they could pay because I'm no longer reliant on the income. So now, like, there are like nonprofits or something that I could say, like, hey, I would love to work with you. I have a really great idea for you. And the pay is what you can afford, right? Right now, I'm not in a position to do that. My kids are too young. I still have schools and colleges to pay for. And so I'm getting there, right? Like, I'm buying freedom back where if my daughter's school needs a volunteer on a Tuesday morning, I go and I don't have to ask a boss.
Yeah.
I just move my clients around. I know I have to get the work done, but I can do whatever I want in that instance. And that's already, that's success that I'm reaching for myself. But if I wanted to reach high, it'd be like, I have this wonderful agency and I can pick whoever I want to work with because just I believe in them without having to worry about pay coming in. We'll see if I get there, but that would be like ideal.
So providing impact and value to everyone. I love it.
Because as moms too, we want to show what are we giving back. And with marketing, like it's like you're selling a lot of people ideas. And how do I find giving back? And I already do that a little bit where I find local candidates or organizations where I give them pro bono advice and so on. And I think that's where I really can help people in the future, just like helping with their messaging and finding something I believe in and helping that grow, like the environment, like how can I be more impactful with organizations there? But right now it's still I have the freedom to find clients that I like and I work with. And yes, right now we still need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what is one thing that this journey so far has given you that you feel like is a splurge? So obviously I know you've said like having help with your kiddos, but is there something like, is it travel? Is it a refrigerator full of treats that don't look like Hansel and Gretel? Like, is there something that you do that feels really good that is a result of your hard work? And it can be a selfish indulgence.
I splurge on massages.
Oh, that's
for
good.
sure. Like clothes is not my thing so much. I'm wearing my husband's shirt. I have
looks great.
I rent my clothes. I probably have like 5 pairs of shoes. It's like my Birkenstocks, my flats, my winter shoes, my running shoes, and then a comfortable pair of sneakers. So that's not it for me. And that's just how I was brought up.
Yeah.
But yes, the massages and the help, we splurge a lot on. I mean, just tomorrow and Sunday, I have a full day babysitter coming so that we can take the older kids to Disney while the baby, who still has a nap and who's going rogue right now, is staying home. But we can still have a good time, right? And then we splurge on nannies and babysitters just to like help us with the 3 kids. And to be honest, my 3rd baby was only possible because I went out on my own. So I always say he's my little sunshine gift. Like he is like being on my own, being my entrepreneur, and my husband, you know, in the first year supporting me with that. Like us having like that 3rd little sunshine, that is, I know it sounds so, I'm full of poo-poo, but
no, it doesn't.
It really is. Like I was really raised with very good family morals, and family was always the most important. So I think that's why I didn't focus on the money so much. But then I realized, but I need that freedom that money gives me. And so now it's really like I get to be a mom. I get to pick them up and drop them off all the time. And I get to take days off and I can focus on them. And from Germany, right, I can take a whole December off and work from Germany
remotely,
with my clients. Corporate America would not. It would have been more difficult, and understandably so, because then everyone in the company wants to move abroad.
And that's not sustainable.
No, that's not. But that's what the success, like just the freedom in living, like that. What a dream. I really get to be a mom and do work that I love.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
It is.
So going back to how you were raised and in the environment you were raised in, I'm sure that maybe aunts or your mom or your grandmothers, do you find yourself now kind of reteaching what you've learned to women in your life that have not gotten to where you are in their relationship with money?
Oh, yeah. I'm with my parents. I'm like, Mom and Dad, I know they have index funds in Germany.
Do it.
Do it. So we got them. I mean, they are doing it. They've now invested in like properties in Munich. They really have a financial advisor. And I think they're starting to invest. So absolutely. I'm like, oh, Mom and Dad, and it's not too late. It really isn't. Like my parents are like 60, so it's not too late. They're still doing it. And their financial advisor is like, yes, let's do it because she's making them build their own business so that they can funnel their funds through it. And all of that, right?
I love it.
Absolutely. I have 2 siblings. They're also very into all of that. So we're all talking to our parents, like how to now make the best out of that decision and to give them that freedom that they're financially secure.
Changing lives just by having conversations. Are you and your girlfriends talking about money?
Yes, through this book. Every time I ask my girlfriends, I'm like, hey, who's doing your investing? And they're like, oh, if it's
so-and-so.
So-and-so. I'm like, no, girlfriend, here's my book. Read the last 5 pages. Like, you have to get into this. It's really not that complicated once you just sit down and try to understand it or talk about it. Even in my book club, I'm like, maybe we should read one book on investing like as a bonus because it's we never know what life's going to throw our way.
No.
And I read there's a bestseller in Germany. It's all called it's aging. And it's this 80-year-old lady. And she says, aging, that's not a big deal. It's just if you're poor and you're not financially stable, it's harder. It really sucks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like life is going to throw things at you. Life's going to do what life does. And if you, on top of that, don't have to worry about how you're going to pay your bills, that's privilege. Mm-hmm. And that's going to just make life so much easier. So when I'm at the library and I'm talking to people, I'm like, hey, have you done a 529 for your son? Like,
I love it.
Have you looked into Step Up for Students? Look what resources are out there. You might not think that you can invest. Like, how are you able to make even if you feel like you're single moms, like you're working yourself to the bones, we all want a better life for our kids. Yep. I'm like, have you looked at just putting $50 a month into that account and see where it takes you? Young women, all my interns, when they leave me, I go, here's $100. You can do whatever you want with that. But you have to invest it and read this book. And then whatever you believe in, but you have to do something with it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Even our pair, I go, look up in Germany, there's also this index funding or whatever, read a book and start now. They're 21 years old. Like in 20 years, they're going to think back of me and be like, damn, thank you, Lene.
Yeah, I'm glad she said that.
Yeah.
And that's where it all begins.
Yeah.
Having the conversations, not keeping any of these things to ourselves. And that is how we do it. That's what Women in Wealth is all about.
Yes.
Do the best you can today and keep trying to do it every day, because compounding anything, as long as it's positive, is great. So for anybody listening, how can they find you and follow along with what you're building?
So right now we are most active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
It's Laudt Creative on LinkedIn. We are also on Instagram, Laudt Creative on Instagram. We have the Piggy Bank Explorers on Instagram, but it's still kind of my side hustle that I really hope my kids will take over one day. So It's a long-term journey. But yeah, Laudt Creative is the best way on LinkedIn and on Instagram to reach us.
Well, thank you so much. Obviously, I adore you outside of this world, but it's a good reminder for everybody that you can make changes to impact yourself and the lives of people around you without being classically trained in something. There's so much, a plethora of resources out there to figure it out until you get to a point where you need the resources. But this book and the conversations you're having are a great place to start. Thank you so much for all of the work you're doing.
Thank you. And the last thing I will say, I don't know anything, right? I really don't. I read a book. I have 4 books. But then I got people that I trusted that had knowledge in this, and I talked to them.
Yeah.
Because I still don't know a lot. And the book is really just starting with 529. It's just starting the conversation.
It's so easy, and it makes it fun. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It makes it easier for the kiddos to be engaged too.
Yes.
So great job.
Thank you.
As always, to you all listening, I hope that you get so much out of this and continue to spread the word. Tell your friends about the resources that are out there. And of course, like, share, comment, subscribe, and let's keep changing the way women think and feel about money together.